people, it's time for us to jump into our discussion segment, and our topic for today is it takes a village to raise a child. Does this still apply? Is it still valid? Let's drop it on Instagram Live at Funtastic 93 FM, or you are via WhatsApp at 876-792-3530. All right, so I'm going to jump into the discussion segment right now. I want to say big up to Kimmie, Kim, big up to Boss Lady Bree, and Adenike. Yeah, man, large up yourself over there. Big up to the traveling resident DJ MV Stone. As we look into this one, it takes a village to raise a child. Now, people, I want to say big up to those of you just joining on Instagram Live. Welcome. Drop your comments below. Say something so we can communicate with you. So we're looking at it takes a village to raise a child. Now, the African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child, it reminds us that responsibility of nurturing and developing a child does not lie with the parents alone. It's not up to the parents alone. Now, in traditional societies, the village, as we refer to the village, it's included the extended family, neighbors, elders, and community members. Now, in Jamaica today, the village still exists. You think so or no? I think the village still exists, but it has changed. It has changed physically, socially, and even digitally. Now, this discussion for today explores the concept of how the village has evolved and how we can apply it to meaningful activities in today's Jamaican society. All right, so we're gonna see if we can apply the village, it takes a village to raise a child in today's society. Now, one of the first things we need to do, let me see here. I see some discussion here. It's Gold Gem says it exists, but the parenting has a lot to do with it. Yes, it's a whole different ball game when it accounts for parenting. So we're going to look at how we can get it to apply more and more today. All right. Now, in earlier generations, Jamaica communities were tightly knit. Children were raised not just by parents, but by grandparents, aunt, uncles, godparents, teachers, and neighbors. Everybody somewhat had their part to play. Now, a child could not misbehave down the road without someone correcting them and their parents hearing about it before they reach home. Am I lying, or am I talking the truth here? That's how it used to be. Anyhow you misbehave on the road, somehow your parents are gonna hear about it, or somebody might punish you even before you reach home, and your parents still hear about it and punish you as well. So everybody used to play an active role when it comes to raising a child or bringing up a child. Everybody had an interest, a positive influence on the child, right? Now, let me show you. There was an informal network that existed, and it ensured that, one, there was some level of moral guidance and discipline. Everybody was helpful in that area. True, as it School Gem says, true. Two, there was emotional and social support. If you're out there in the streets, probably you see a little picnic crying, people are gonna be like, hey, what happened to you? You know, are you okay? Is mommy, where's mommy? And so on. Nowadays, you see a picnic ball, everybody just walk past. Not as many people are concerned. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a change. There has been a change. Now, back then, there was also a collective responsibility for safety and well-being. You had people who were like, hey, you want bus fare you need? What you doing on the road so late? You know, checking up on the child, checking up on the individual to make sure that they're safe. You all right? You know where you're going? Why you going into that area? That don't look safe, you know. Persons were out there looking out for the children. I don't think it exists. That part of it exists as much. No, it's still there somewhere, you know. But we need to find ways to get it out. We need to find ways to get it more active or more visible. Now, the values and respect The manners and the community spirit were instilled through these shared interactions. So the traditional village back then was a cultural foundation, and it ensured that the values were instilled some way, somehow, from a collective point of view. Everybody put in a part. The shopkeeper say, hey, you're not for thief, you're not for this, you must learn to do that, you must do that. The grandparent or auntie on the road, hey, go on inside, your mother say enough up on the road. All of these things. Everybody was somehow actively involved in playing their part in the child's development or advancement. And that is what we call the village. That's what we call the village in action. Yeah. The foundation on which I would say children from the 70s, 80s, possibly a bit of the 90s were able to experience. Since about 2000, it's not as visible as it was back then. And we're going to look at how the village has changed, people. Because the village has changed. It's not the same as it was before. It's not as visible. It's not as tangible. It has definitely changed over time. All right. Now let's look at how the village has changed. All right. So walk with me. Be sure to share your views, share your point of view, share your questions as well. I'll try as best to answer them as we close off our Child's Month feature with this topic. It takes a village to raise a child. All right. Now, as we look at the difference of how the village has changed, before I jump into that, I see a comment coming in from It's Gold Gem. Let me go ahead and take that one. Give me a little second here. So people, you're locked into Funtastic Friday here on News Talk 93 FM on your FM dial. Be sure to follow us at Funtastic 93 FM on Facebook, Instagram, and Funtastic Fridays on YouTube. All right, so It's Gold Gem says, they used to ensure the proper upbringing of the child, but nowadays things change and it won't be the same again because of social media and everything keeps changing constantly. Well, we're going to look at ways in which it has changed. So It's Gold Gem says, social media and other fast changes that have been taking place. Let's see if we're on the right track. So in 2025, the structure of our communities have shifted. So the structure of our communities or families has shifted due to several social and economic factors. Now, one, there has been urbanization and migration. So many families have moved from rural areas to urban communities or centers or even overseas. That has since broke up extended family networks. So who no leave from country come a town, who no leave from town gone a foreign, those relationships or networks that were there have been a bit, scattered. They are broken up a bit. Now, another impacting item on how the village is perceived nowadays, technology and globalization. So now children nowadays, they grow up in a digital world where online communities can influence them more than even real life communities. Yeah, that's a big change right there. Most of these youngsters are quick to believe persons online more than people in front of them. They're quick to believe the motivational speakers, the self-proclaimed relationship gurus and business influencers. They even know if they have business, but because they're on social media or possibly because they have a lot of followers, they are quick to believe these persons over persons that they can see in front of them who they even factually know have a business or have experience. Yeah, it's influencers is who they believe more than they would believe the persons in front of them. Even probably sometimes their mother, their father, their sister, their brother. They're more likely believe an influencer. If influencer say, listen to me, no go school, I waste of time. Them never itch. Them believe that right away. Want to make up the money checking in. What go on? So we're in the discussion topic. We're looking at it takes a village to raise a child. And we're asking ourselves, does this apply in 2025? Does this apply now? Is it still applicable? And we've looked at the traditional village and how it was a cultural foundation. And now we're looking at how that village has changed over the years. So there has been urbanization and migration. There has been technology and globalization. And also, this is one of the big ones here, there has been a decline in trust and safety concern. Yeah. There has been decline in trust and safety concerns. Yeah. Due to rising crime and social distrust, many parents are hesitant to allow others to discipline or even interact closely with their children. I mean, they have a fair right to do so. I mean, with how things are going outside nowadays, you can't allow any and anybody to talk or to influence your child. You have to somewhat kind of monitor it. You have to somewhat be a bit, I would say, reserved into which persons you make give your child advice or have a certain influence on your child, because not everybody out there makes sense nowadays. Really and truly. And you might even think probably even some business person say, okay, they have a business, they must have sense. No. Some things we hear some of these people are telling to the children, you say, no, sir, that I can't have this person around my child. This person is not a positive influence. Yeah. So nowadays, with how social distrust is out there, parents are hesitant to even allow their child to be interacting with the village per se. So that is a big change in the concept of it takes a village. But when we get on the flip side of the discussion at about 7:30 thereabout, we're going to look at ways in which these hurdles or these changes, how we can maneuver around them to get back the village up and running in 2025. All right, so another setback or another change that has taken place in the village mindset or village concept is that there has been single parent and working parent household. So back in the days when it took a village to raise a child, there were more household with mother and father present. Nowadays, there are a lot of single parent households and there are a lot of working parent households. So it's like the child is getting less attention from their parents or less supervision from their parents. So if the parents are away and not able to supervise, what do they have? Who do they have to supervise or interact with them? The devices, the mobile phone, the internet, the apps, whether it be Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. These are what they will rely on in the sense that the parents are not there. So with many parents working long hours or raising children by themselves, support systems are more necessary but often less available. Is it matter, people? Nowadays, it's not as easily available for you to get persons to be present for your child. Everybody busy. And not only that, you're not sure who you can trust, so you don't just want to take up any and everybody to come to your house and look over your child. It might could have probably tried things like that back in the 90s, but probably not now. You might not want to do it. If you have a family member, even then, you still have to wonder. It's not even an easy decision to make. So you have to be careful when it comes to your child. You have to be observant. You have to be you have to be very vigilant, right? So despite these changes, people, the need for a village has not disappeared. As I say, we still somewhat need that village to raise the child. We need it. In fact, children today face new pressures, so they're gonna need additional support from the village. Now, when we talk about new pressures, we're talking about, from online bullying. Yes, online bullying. I mean, it has gone to a different level. So, I mean, one of the things you want to try and teach your child or instill in your child is not to let the words people say have too much of an impact. So people call your name, yeah, go your ears big like. Not to let these things have an impact or as much as an impact on you. Right? I mean, words can damage you, but if you give it the power to. So you are able to practice certain behavior or teach your child certain behavior to allow them not to put a lot of influence into things people may insult them about. You know, go on your foot. You know, so that way that helps to minimize the power that bullies have over you. So from online bullying to mental health challenges, all of these things, these pressures that the kids are faced with, make community involvement more essential than ever. Now is the time for us to look out for our kids. Now is the time for us to push and ensure that they have the support system available. Now is not the time to fade away in the background, because you are able to see easily, in most cases, the homes in which the parents are present on a daily basis and the homes in which, boy, they picking them run things. Parents have to beg the pitney, alright, turn off the TV now. May I beg you turn off the TV now. And one thing, you know, you can get an idea of when parents have somewhat lost their influence or positive influence on the child is, for example, you know, you say to the child, the only way for you to get something done is to take away the child tablet. I'm going to take away everything, take away your tablet. That doesn't sound like a good habit in the first place. There should be routine available for, you know, whether it's screen time, play time, that sort of level should be set out already, right? So there shouldn't be any free-for-all when it comes to these activities. You must be able to manage these activities so that when you set your boundaries, the child already is aware that, okay, usually I get 2 hours, 3 hours for the phone. I've been disobedient, so right now it gone down to 1 or 0. Yeah, you got to teach them how life will come at them. So, despite the changes that have taken place, and we're talking about from urbanization and migration, from technology and globalization, from the decline in trust and self-concern, to the single parent and working parent household, there is still a need for the village. The need for the village has not disappeared. It's very much evident today. If we have a village, lots of these things will not take place. People will be there, people will see, people will intervene, people will support. Yeah. People will have a bigger say in things, and they'll be able to be more confident in relaying their beliefs or their decisions. Yeah, trust me. So, I think it definitely still takes a village to raise a child. I think the village has somewhat got disconnected, but we're still connected by one platform at least, you know. We might not be physically there, but we have all these devices and gadgets to ensure that we stay a little connected. I want to talk about just a text message, you know, a video call, or even setting up platforms on your phone like a group, WhatsApp group or a chat group, something like that, so that persons can be in full communication, so that the village can still communicate with each other. Yeah? Okay. So people, we looked at the traditional village, you know, what it was like. You know, if you go outside, somebody is looking out for you. You couldn't misbehave down the road and go back home without somebody, you know, a message reaching your parents saying, listen, me, this is when I was bad on the road. Yeah, or they might even punish you on the road themselves. Come here. You know, Miss Maxine, son. Come, I whap you 2 times, you're up on the road I play. It was all cool then, you know. But to how persons have changed, the options for parents to say, all right, I'm gonna beat my child has changed because there are people who out there are abusers. So you can't just make any and everybody be responsible for your child. So that level has changed. People don't offer emotional support as they used to. During the village mentality, yes, if you're outside, they see a child that cry, somebody, 1, 2, 3 persons, probably even more than one, just go to the child. Hey, you're all right. Nowadays, if a child that cry, nobody now look. Everybody I say, how are them mother there? And has left them a ball. How are them father there? But back then, there was a genuine concern for the children. Are you getting home safely? Which direction you go? All these things. Nowadays, you're not going to send it in a vehicle because you know say, it's a different world we're living in. The village has somewhat become part of the problem. But with a bit of practice or training, we will be able to, we'll be able to get to a better setting as it relates to village in 2025. All right, people. So don't go anywhere. We're going to continue with our discussion after the break. We're looking at it takes a village to raise a child. Is this still applicable in 2025? How have things changed? Do you still believe that we really do need a village, or right now everybody man for themselves? What do you think? Drop your comments on the Instagram live at Funtastic93FM, on Facebook at Funtastic93FM, or you can drop your comment on this video on our YouTube channel at Funtastic Fridays. I see some heart emojis going up. Big up to you. Thanks very much. Loving the energy. And we'll be right back after the break. So don't go anywhere, people. Funtastic Friday continues.